What's going on, people? We got the Mushoku Tensei info dump on the last volume of the main storyline. Now, it's not much. It really isn't. Two pages I've seen. I just want to talk on for some content. Really, I plan not to upload anything today, but hey, content drop. Lucky me. So, anyways, next month the last volume will drop in Japan, volume 26, and I gotta say the artist's illustration just gets better and better each volume. In fact, I remember I used to find a Russian site that used to have all their artwork on there, but it got taken down, and I can't find another place to find their artwork. Now, their main page has all their artwork on there. And if you've seen all their artwork before, it is gorgeous, beautiful, and it's just like, wow, man. It's just breathtaking some of the stuff that they're capable of doing thanks to Wacom tablets and stuff. It's just beautiful. Now, without further ado, let's talk about what we have here. Let's talk about the first picture we got here. First one is kind of the preview, like you always get in the volumes, the preview images of the characters you'll see in the volume. And what we got here, we got geese. Spoilers, by the way, freaking spoilers. Don't pick this up if you're only an anime watcher or a light novel reader or you're even a manga reader. Okay, this is for people who don't mind being spoiled or know what's happening already because they already finished everything. So, anyways, back to what I was going to say. We got Geese with the Fighting God armor, Bondi Gandhi. The armor looks sick as hell. Looks just awesome. If you don't know anything about the Fighting God armor, the armor itself was created by Laplace, by the way, a way to help, Oyster in upcoming battles, but however, the armor was used against him to split his soul in half, which created today's problems. And it's a very sad story if you understand that the armor and even the wearer himself, what they had to go through in order to wear it. It's very sad and stuff. And then, of course, you have Gisu, who would thought that he would be the main villain for the series. His cloak, and by the way, this cloak has a meaning behind it, so he's not just wearing it just to be wearing it. But the fact that this dude that really looked up to and saw as a godfather or uncle ended up being his greatest antagonist besides the human god, it's just crazy. Then you have Oyster and Hitagami. Hitagami looks very frustrated, pissed off. And I think this is the first time we actually have a picture of actual Hitagami in the light novels. We never had a picture of Hitagami in the light novels before. Ever. But yet, here we are. We have one right here. And he looks pissed because everything that he plans to do is not going to fruition at all. And this time you have a smile on Oyster this time. Oyster has a smile, as in things are finally going his way. He had seen so many failures of having to repeat the same timeline over and over and over again. But it feels like with the help of Rudius and his family and friends, things are finally turning around and he is full of confidence. He don't have that angry glare anymore. He still has a glare, but it's full of confidence. It's lighter this time. It's friendly this time. And you'll see why it's friendly this time towards the end of the volume. And of course, you have Rudius and his squad of Dead End, Richard and Eris, ready to face on the final battle. And the final battle is going to be crazy. I hope we get to see Rudius' mark armor as he fights the Fighting God. I hope we get to see some pictures of that battle. Imagine that battle being animated. It will be glorious, especially the desperation attempts that they have when they're fighting Bondi Gandhi at the end. All hope really seems lost towards the end, but things turn around. And it's just amazing. And now let's go on to the next and final image I've seen so far on Twitter is the end chapter, like the closing story of Mushoku Tensei at the end. You see Ruiz, he looks a bit different, his eyes are a bit lighter. You have Eris with a white strand of hair, you'll find out why she has that. And you see Selfie all blushing. They're both blushing, and then you see Roxy just, looks like she's just woken up and stuff. And this is the famous scene. If you know you know. And this is the scene where let's say it's volume 13 of the light novels, but crazy, but not crazy. But you don't get to see it happening. You don't get to. You just know it's going to happen. It's just sorry. First thing Ruiz does. Let me tell you a story. If you don't know, when he found out that Gisu was their enemy and they're going to the final battle, and his wives are vulnerable to being affected by Hitagami when they're pregnant, Ruiz was not allowed to have sex until the problem has been solved. So the entire time they're strategizing, making allies, making plans, all that stuff, and then final battle happened, and then they're fixing things up in Ridger's village, and then he's on his way back home. And the first thing he wants to do, he wants jungle time. Jungle time. He went to KFC and he asked for a 3-piece. He asked for a 3-piece, baby. A combo. A nice combo. You know, he want breasts, legs, and thighs. And my brother got it. Now, if this goes the way, all jokes aside, if this goes the way the final volume did, you're probably going to tear up. One thing I made myself promise is that, and I go for any web novel reader, is to read volume 24 once and only once. I remember when I read volume 24 and I teared up. Very few things make me tear up. And one video that I did end up tearing up before, and I think it was when Dandarapa, when I saw Chiaki die, and that teared me up. Because seeing a similar like her dying twice, but worse, it was not good for my heart. And now, then I remember reading volume 24 when I first read it, and I promised myself I'll never read this again. Not the story, but I'll never read volume 24 again because of the ending. It's just so sad. And then you also see the origin stories of how everything happened, why Rudy's is there and stuff, and that itself is sad as well. It was just a very sad volume, all put together in a way. I believe that the volume will be better fleshed out this time, now that the author is going to have a better way to do a novel formation. But yeah, volume 24 really hit a lot of people a different way. It made a lot of people tear up, sad, and just the way they narrate it, how the characters, like I said, spoilers, the characters die, and they didn't die terrible deaths. It's that the way it was, the way they narrate it made it sad. Sometimes deaths might be sad because someone is getting killed, but someone's just dying, and you had happy memories of them either way. But the fact that they're still going away is still sad nonetheless. And I think it started off with, Rudy is not remembering anything. He's old. He was looking for Eris, but he forgot that Eris died first. By the way, she was training and she wore herself out, and she decided to go back to bed, and she wanted to go to sleep. But the thing is, she never woke up from her sleep. Yeah, Eris died in her sleep, and Rudy was sad for 5 days and stuff. As Selphie and Roxy haven't really aged much because they're elves and demon, Rudius, went on and he saw his grandchildren and probably his great-grandchildren there too. And then you saw Whiteshirt showing up saying a job well done and stuff. And then he goes on to the afterlife where he sees Hitagami for the last time. It's funny, the last person he sees is Hitagami. And Hitagami's mocking, saying, now that you're gone, I can finally get what I want. There'll be no one there to lead them like you can. So your family and anyone else you love can be vulnerable to my plans in the future. But Rudius saw a vision of the future where he saw his oyster, some of his ancestors there on their way to fight Hitagami. So he just patted Hitagami on the shoulder and said, good luck, and he walks off. And by the way, he's not in his fat human world form anymore. He's in his form that he is when he got reincarnated, when he's in the astral world this time. and he doesn't know what's really in the afterlife. All he knows that he might just turn and disperse to mana, and that's it. He might not be in afterlife, but they just disperse into mana and stuff. So he walks on not knowing that, but he has a fulfilling life and stuff, and that teared me up. And what got me more is understanding the origin story of how Reese got there as well. When when we understand about the playback Miku and what she had to go through, and how one of the main characters, which will be in the sequel, she fell in love with, but terrible things happened to him. So she did a ritual to help his soul, which caused him to transpire the events, which will cause Titagami to lose the war against Oyster. So there's that, and also we have other books like the redundancy chapters, which I believe that they will put in light novel formation. We'll also have old Jobless Oblige, which is about Rui's second son. Then we also have my personal favorite, Old Dragon's Tale, the origin of Lap Place, and how the worlds were like before they were destroyed and there was just one. I feel like that Old Dragon Tale also made me sad too, because it's also a prequel. And for some reason, prequels always make people sad because they never end well. Someone's going to die, something bad's going to happen to those characters because they're not there in the main series. It's just one of those things, man. Damn. So I hope you didn't watch this video with the spoilers I gave you. If you're still here, well, that's your fault, man. Jesus Christ. But yeah, it's just want to make it. It's always good to make a Mushoku Tensei video. I'm always ready to make a Mushoku Tensei video. That's just me, man. Anyways, that's all I got for this video, man. It was just a nice video to make. Just pass some time before I rest up and go to work. And I hope you guys have the rest of your day. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, of course. Hit that bell icon. This is the background. I'm Anime. Signing out.